One of the biggest mistakes I see with my clients is waiting for the fear to disappear before they take on the thing that matters to them. They wait to speak up. They wait to change jobs. They wait to start something new. They assume that confident people don't feel any fear. I'm Steve Maher. I'm a best-selling author, an accredited coach and a registered therapist, and I've helped hundreds of clients in over 3,000 hours of coaching sessions feel more confident. But here's the strange truth. Fear doesn't disappear without taking action. Most of the time, fear will disappear when you start the thing you want to do. Once I understood this, everything changed for me in terms of how I tackled difficult situations. You see, for years, I believed, like a lot of people, that confident people must feel ready before they act. Somehow, for them, their anxiety seems to switch off so they can move forward with challenging things. But you see, the more I've worked with really talented people, top professionals, senior leaders, people that do really challenging things, I've learned something really important. I've learned that they feel the fear and do it anyway. Now, let me tell you a personal story. Let's go back to December last year when I was having a drink with a good friend of mine. And I mentioned to him that I wanted to stretch myself. I wanted a challenge that would take me out of my comfort zone. And he suggested, why not take on an ice bath challenge? He'd done it a few years ago and he said it's surprisingly invigorating. Now, given that it was December, it was about 2 degrees outside and dark, everything in my mind said, let's forget that. That's a crazy idea. Let's stay inside where it's nice and warm. Maybe it was because I was on my 3rd beer at the time, but I said, yes, go on, I'll give it a go. So I went online and bought an ice bath. A few days later, when it arrived, there was frost on the ground. My hands were actually hurting from the cold when I was putting this thing together. And I started to think, this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I wanted to push on through the fear and give it a go. So I kept going and I put the ice bath together. Day 1 arrived, it was 7 a.m. and I stepped out into the dark in just my swimming shorts. I had to knock the ice off the top of the ice bath before I could get in. But I took a deep breath and took the plunge. I lasted 30 seconds. Everything in my mind said, get the hell out of this thing. So I got out of that bath as fast as I could without falling over. But despite all this, I turned up again on day 2. The same pain was there, the same thoughts went through my head, but this time I managed to survive a whole minute. Day 3 arrived. This time I noticed that even though it was a bitterly cold day, my level of fear had definitely gone down a notch. It was still there, but it had lessened. This time, because I knew I'd survived day 1 and day 2, I was going to push myself a little bit further. Today I managed 90 seconds. And so this went on day after day. And after a few days I spoke to my friend and I said, gosh, I'm finding this really tough. And he gave me a great breathing technique that helps calm the fear and focus the mind, which helped me massively. And so after a week of this torture, I'd managed to get to 3 minutes. And I was starting to think, maybe I could do this thing after all. You see, your brain loves certainty. It's a certainty-seeking machine, and it treats uncertainty like it's a real and present danger. And if you're about to do something that's unfamiliar to you, like public speaking or taking on a new role or a challenging project, your brain sends a signal, and that signal is fear. But here's the problem. Most people incorrectly interpret that signal to mean I shouldn't do this, when in reality it means this really matters to me. Fear is often a sign that you're stepping into the unknown, you're about to do something new. Waiting for that fear to disappear, and you'll be waiting a very long time. You see, gaining confidence at something is a process. The first stage in that process is you need to show courage if you're going to take on something new. You need to be brave to overcome the fear. Let's say you haven't been running in a long time and a friend of yours suggests, let's go and do a marathon. what's going to go through your brain is, you're crazy. I can't do that. I'm a bit of a fat slob and I haven't even run round the block for a week. I'm going to leave you with that one. Go and have fun. Unless you've run a marathon before, you don't know if you can do it. So you need to be able to handle the uncertainty of whether you can achieve your goal or not. However, if you develop a plan, there's loads of websites that can teach you how to come up with a training plan, and you repeatedly turn up for your training sessions, something will start to shift. You see, confidence rarely comes along for the ride if you just think about doing the thing. You have to take action. And if you repeatedly take that action over and over again, you train your brain that you can handle the situation. And that's when things start to shift. That's when the fear starts to lift. So what can we do about this? Well, here's 3 top tips that work surprisingly well. The first one I call lowering the bar. You see, your brain hates massive leaps that it's not sure if you can achieve or not. It's much better to take small steps, little steps at a time. So instead of saying, can I do this perfectly today? Just ask yourself, what's the smallest thing I think I can achieve today that moves me towards my goal? So if you want to run a marathon, can you run round the block today? If you want to do a 5-minute ice bath challenge, can I do 30 seconds today? These little steps overcome the psychological resistance. Tip number 2 is expect the fear, don't fight it. One of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is stop expecting fear to disappear. If you're doing something meaningful, expect the fear to turn up. It's part of the process. Welcome it in. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. Say thank you, brain, but it's trying to keep you too safe. Those people that take on challenging things, they expect the fear to show up. They don't fight it and they don't resist it. And my third tip is focus on repetition. Your brain learns through exposure. The first time you try something, it's going to feel uncomfortable. The 5th time you try it, it's going to be slightly easier. A week into my ice bath challenge, it was tough and manageable. The 20th time I did it, it felt like normal. The more I tried to get into that ice bath, the easier it gets. And now to this day, I can do my 3 minutes. It's tough, but I know I can survive it. Confidence doesn't come in one moment, it comes through repetition. Most people think that first confidence, then action, but they've got it the wrong way round. Action comes first, then comes experience, then comes confidence. So if you are waiting for fear to disappear before you do something important, you're probably going to be waiting a long time. In fact, I think you're going to be waiting forever. The truth is, fear doesn't disappear without taking a step forward. The irony is, you need to take that step forward first for the fear to start to disappear.